Morning to all. So today we will be discussing more about the regulatory body, that is SEBI, Securities and Exchange Board of India. So the SEBI is the regulatory authority established under Section 3 of SEBI Act 1992 to protect the interest of the investors in securities and to promote the development of and to regulate the securities market and for the matters connected therewith and incidental thereto. So I will explain in depth about our regulatory body, that is Securities and Exchange Board of India. Can anyone tell me, am I clear, audible? My screen is visible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
sir.
Perfect. Kindly mute your audio. Let me continue with the session. Now, SEBI is concerned, the Securities and Exchange Board of India was established on April 12th, 1992 in accordance with the provisions of the Securities and Exchange Board of India Act 1992. Now, what is this SEBI? It is the regulatory body of our Indian equity market. Please remember this. SEBI is the regulatory body of our Indian equity market. So the preamble of the Securities and Exchange Board of India describes the basic functions of the Securities and Exchange Board of India as to protect the interest of investors in the securities market and to promote the development of and to regulate the securities market and for the matters connected therewith or incidental thereto. See, the major preamble of the SEBI is to protect the interest of all the investors who are investing in our Indian market and to promote the development and to regulate the securities market. So SEBI basically consists of the board. So who will be there in the SEBI's board? Let me explain you. Now, can anyone tell me who is the present chairman of SEBI? Who is the present chairman of SEBI, Securities and Exchange Board of India? Board members. We are discussing board members of SEBI. Who is the present chairman of SEBI? Yes, anyone? Students, come on.
Sir Ajay Tyagi,
Ajay, who is this?
present chairman of SEBI.
Okay, no, but Vishal, is it Vishal?
Yes, sir. Vishal.
Okay. See, please remember, students, the present chairman of Securities and Exchange Board of India is Shri Ajay Tyagi. Then we have whole-time members. Then how about the organization structure of SEBI? That we will understand now. See, first, there will be a chairman, Mr. Shri Ajay Tyagi, and the whole-time members of SEBI will be reporting to the chairman. Then the various functions and departments of SEBI consists of the Commodity Derivative Market Regulation Department, which is, division of new products and market policy. Then we have division of exchange administration, division of inspection, division of risk management. Then we have a separate division for complaints and investor awareness. Then we have division of products and division of investors awareness. Now, what are some of the major responsibilities of SEBI? See, SEBI has the power to regulate and perform functions such as check the books of accounts of stock exchanges and call for periodical returns, approve bylaws of stock exchanges, inspect the books of financial intermediaries such as banks, certain companies to get listed on one or more exchanges. So majorly, SEBI is also called as the watchdog of our Indian market. So the objective of SEBI, all of you understood, is to ensure, the first objective is to ensure that the Indian capital market works in a systematic manner. and provide investors with a transparent environment for their investment. The primary reason for setting up SEBI was to prevent malpractices. So this is very important, students. When I say malpractices, we even spoke about insider trading, right? All of you. That means companies insider leaking the information and giving to an external entity. So what happens by doing that? So he is called as an insider informer. That is not legal. So SEBI will be monitoring all such activities. The primary reason for setting up SEBI was to prevent malpractices in the capital market of India and to promote the development of capital markets. So SEBI's responsibility is to ensure that the securities market in India functions in an orderly manner. So basically, the SEBI, which is the regulatory body established under the SEBI Act 1992, is the principal regulator for stock exchanges in India. When I say stock exchanges, all should be knowing in India we have two popular stock exchanges, NSE as well as BSE. So if you ask me, sir, what all comes under SEBI, or what are some of the important guidelines? So SEBI advises certain guidelines in issue of fresh share capital. Please remember, fresh issue by new companies in primary market and functioning of secondary market in order to maintain quality standards. A few such guidelines and objectives will be again discussed in today's session. So SEBI is a statutory regulatory body entrusted with the responsibility to regulate the Indian capital markets. It monitors and regulates the securities market and protects the interest of a lot of investors, enforcing certain rules and regulations. So SEBI is the counterpart of the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, in US. Its stated objective is to protect the interest of, in almost all the countries there will be a regulatory body, but the primary objective of this regulatory body is to protect the interest of investors. And even SEBI, it has got some major duties also, like as everybody knows, the primary objective is to protect the interest of investors. The secondary would be, basically we can divide it into three parts: the protective duties and the regulatory functions and the developmental functions. Please understand, the major duties of SEBI can be divided into three parts: protective duties, regulatory functions, as well as development functions. Now, protective duty, when I say protective duties, what do you mean by protective duties? To check unfair trade practices in connection with the market. To check insiders trading in securities. See, very important, insiders trading. So what do you mean by insider trading? Insider trading means buying and selling of securities by those persons who have some secret information or inside information about the company and wish to take advantage out of it, or they'll be making profit out of that. And to provide education relating to dealing in securities and to promote the code of conduct. So these are some of the protective duties of Securities and Exchange Board of India. Then the second one is regulatory functions of SEBI. So to regulate the business being done in the share market or equity market, to register brokers, sub-brokers, transfer agents, then to register and check the credit rating agency, the venture capital fund, and the collective investment scheme like the mutual fund. If you ask me, sir, only equity market? Yeah, equity and equity related instruments, SEBI is the regulatory body. Like we have RBI as the RBI, the bankers bank, the regulatory body of all the banks. IRDA, that is Insurance Regulated Development Authority, is a regulatory body of insurance companies. So in the same way, SEBI is the regulatory body of Indian equity market. So what we are studying now, we are studying the three basic duties: protective duty, regulatory functions, and development functions. So regulatory functions we were discussing: to regulate the business being done in the share market, to register brokers, sub-brokers in the market, to register and check the credit rating agency, the venture capital fund, and collective investment scheme like the mutual fund, and to carry out audit of share markets periodically. Then the third one is called developmental functions. To carry on research work and encourage self-regulating organizations, publish different kinds of information for the convenience of all the parties in the capital market, then to impart training to the intermediaries. So what we studied today in first few minutes, students, we understood. So what are the primary responsibilities of Securities and Exchange Board of India? So everyone should be knowing our Indian equity market regulatory body of SEBI. The major objective is to promote the interest of investors. Then under this, the duties are divided into three main parts. The first one is called protective duties. The second one will be regulatory functions, and the third one is developmental functions. So the major function of SEBI, is to regulate, expand, and ensure the smooth functioning of debt and equity market in India, which also includes derivatives. Just like Reserve Bank of India overlooks banking sector, IRDA overlooks insurance sector, SEBI overlooks financial markets. So till here everyone has understood, right? So what we discussed regarding SEBI. Now we'll go to the most important part, that is indices of Indian stock exchanges. So here we will understand what is an index. So before going to an index, first all of you know there are two popular exchanges in India, that is called as B. So I even showed you yesterday. Please see the screen, all of you. I will be showing you. So how to go for the BSE website. These are the two exchanges. BSEindia.com. So you got the website, and similarly NSEindia.com. So you got NSE's website, right? So you see presently we are in NSE website. If I ask you what is Nifty today, Nifty is nothing but an index. Correct? See, you can see here, if I come down, so Nifty 50, if you see my cursor, it is 11,445. It is down by 3.70, correct? So this is an index. So index, what do you understand with the term called as index, students? I'll repeat here. A stock index or stock market index is a measurement of a section of the stock market from among the stocks listed on the exchange. Some similar stocks are selected and grouped together to form an index. See, some similar stocks are selected. So when I come here, Nifty consists of what? Nifty consists of top 50 companies in terms of market capitalization. Mid cap means what? Mid capitalization companies. Auto means what? The companies which are in the auto sector. If I click Nifty Auto, what will come? So today's high, today's low of auto sector stocks. And here you can see in top 5 stocks, please watch my cursor, students. Nifty Auto, that means it consists, when I say Nifty Auto, so it consists of only automobile sector stocks. So here you can see here top 5 stocks in automobile sector as on today, that is gainers. Okay, today TVS Motor last traded price is 440 rupee 0.15. Today's volume, please understand, when I say volume, it is total number of buyers and total number of sellers, 5,18,739. Then we have Balakrishna Industries, Hero Motor, Amar Raj Batteries, M&M, that is Mahindra and Mahindra. Then we have today's losers in automobile sector, Eicher Motors, Ashok Leyland, Tata Motors, Bosch Limited, and Bharat Forge. So what I'm explaining you here is Nifty Auto. So it consists of what? See here, see the slide here, students. From among the stocks listed on the exchange, some similar stocks are selected and grouped together. When I say some similar stocks, that means same sector, stocks which are in the same sector. Now, suppose you want, sir, a Nifty bank. Okay. So it consists of what? The banking sector stocks, correct? This index consists of banking sector stocks. You can see here, Federal Bank. So Federal Bank, then State Bank of India, then IDFC, then Kotak Mahindra Bank and Ratnakar Bank Limited, RBL. And the top losers today, as on today, IndusInd Bank, Axis Bank, then Bandhan Bank and ICICI Bank and HDFC Bank, right? So these are some of the, index. And this is about Sensex. So if you ask me, sir, how about Sensex? It is an index, sensitivity index. So today's, I need not ask how is market doing. I'll simply ask the broker, what is the Sensex value today? So he will say me 38,867.67. You can see my cursor at the top. Then it is up by 27.35 points. Suppose if I want to get a quote of any specific company here, what I'll do? I'll go here and simply type the company name. So for example, if I want to know about Tata Steel or Tata Motors, sorry. So these are individual shares. The moment I type here Tata, so I will get Tata Steel, then Tata Power, then Tata Elxsi, Tata Steel. So what I'm looking here, Tata Steel Limited. So when I go for Tata Steel Limited, it will give me the history of that. See, the present market price of Tata Steel Limited is 406.05 in BSE. That means to purchase one share, I need to pay 406.05. Clear, students? So if I want to purchase 100 shares, so I'll open my calculator. So 406.05. What is my total investment if I want to purchase 100 shares? Multiplied by 100. So that is 40,605. That should be present in my Demat account with my broker. Clear? So 40,605 if I deposit in my DP account with my broker, then I can purchase 100 shares of Tata Steel. Then broker will ask me, sir, whether you want to do it for delivery, sir, or whether you want to do it for intraday, sir. Then what I will say, I want to carry this particular stock for the next 5 years in my Demat account. I will tell him that it is a delivery buying. So that much shares will be transferred to my Demat account and the amount will be debited from my account. And see, now today, as on today, it is 405.80. Suppose after 1 year, suppose just an example I'm giving you, after 1 year, if it goes to say 600 rupee per share, so how much profit I'm making here? 600 minus 405. Sorry, 600 minus 405. I will get 195 rupee per share. So Tata Steel is already present in my Demat account. So I am making a profit of 195 rupee per share. So 195 multiplied by how many shares I have in my Demat account? 100 shares. So multiplied by 100, which is equal to 1,95,000 is my net profit within 1 year if the share price goes to 600 rupee. So this is called as cash market operation. And what I did here, I did my delivery buying, right? Suppose I tell the broker, no, I want to do intraday. That means buy today and sell today. I will see. So I purchase at 406. So I sell at 415 when the price goes to 415. So 406 minus 415. How much I am making? 9 rupee. 9 multiplied by how many shares? 100. So 900 rupee I am making profit in a single day. 900 rupee. So I bought today and then I sold today. So the net profit what I'm making here is 900 rupee. This is called as intraday. That means buying and selling on the same day. Clear, students, still here? So what I did, this type of operations is called as cash market operations. That means either I can buy and hold it and sell it after 1 year. That is called as delivery buying and delivery selling. And suppose I want to buy and sell on the same day, that is called as intraday. Okay, and the profit what you make is called as intraday profit or intraday losses. Now suppose if I want to see the current market price of say for example Wipro. See here in BSE, Wipro's price, all of you can see here, right? To my watch my cursor, 289.65. See, already morning you can see here the book of a particular company. Previous day closing, that means yesterday's closing at 3:30, it was at 284.95. Today's opening was 282.65. Now I will ask you a question to all of you. Please understand this question. Now today morning, if I had purchased 100 shares at 282.65, that is at the opening. Now presently, what is my net profit? Yeah, anybody? Hello? Students? Are you getting my question?
900 rupees, sir.
Huh?
900 rupees.
900 rupee. Okay. Now what I ask you, today morning if I had purchased 100 shares. So today morning means what? Opening, you have to see your opening. See my cursor, all of you can see my cursor. At least tell yes sir if you are seeing my cursor. Is it visible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now 282.65. That was the opening price. Correct? Now the present market price CMP is it is going up 291. So what is the difference? 291. Enter. So I am making 8 rupee 35 paise per share. Correct? 8 rupee 35 paise multiplied by how much quantity I have? Anybody? In an example, how much quantity I told you? 100.
100, sir.
100.
100,
So
sir.
it is 835 rupee net profit.
35
So morning
rupees.
9:30 when the market opened, if I would have taken 100 shares, by this time 835 is my net profit. This is called as intraday profit what I'm making. Till you have understood this? Everyone? Any doubt in this? Please ask me. So that I have the screen, I'll explain you. Or I'll go to the
Sir.
next part.
Sir, I have a doubt.
Who is this?
Vishal, sir.
Vishal. Tell me.
Sir, if we buy shares and say that we will do it intraday trading, and if we don't do intraday trading and we want to keep it, then how should do,
Then
sir?
before market closing, you have to inform the broker and convert your position from intraday to delivery. That's all.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Suppose you have taken your position for a day. So before market closing, you have to inform the broker. So your position will be converted from intraday to delivery. That's all.
Okay, sir. Thank you,
Do
sir.
delivery buying. But Vishal,
Yes,
one
sir.
thing is that much amount should be there in your Demat account.
Okay, sir.
Suppose if you are purchasing at 282, that is Wipro 100 shares. So multiplied by 100. So at least 28,200 amount should be there in your Demat account. Then only you can take it on a delivery basis. Got it?
Yes, sir. Got it, sir.
Okay. So any other student has got a doubt, please ask me.
Excuse me, sir.
Shall I go to the next part? It is very simple, students. You need to watch the market every day. This subject, investment management, we are just dealing with the risk, return, valuation of securities. So when to enter, when to exit from the market, technical analysis, we'll be studying on that. Okay. Right. Now the next part.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah. Who is this?
Sir, Vinith.
Yeah, please ask me.
So if I purchase shares on an intraday basis, by the end of the day, they automatically may be dissolved.
Yeah, that is called as auto square off. Suppose the amount is, as Vishal mentioned to you, sir, I inform the broker that I have taken my intraday position in the morning. Okay. And by the end of the day, you have to inform the broker that, sir, I want to convert my position into intraday to delivery. But if you don't have that much amount in your demat account, then the broker will ask you, sir, if you want to take on a delivery basis, then you have to transfer the amount to the demat account. Then only I can give you the delivery. If you do not give that particular amount, then there is something called as auto square off. That means if you have taken, if you have purchased the shares, the system will automatically sell it. Vinit?
Yes, sir. Yes,
You
I understood.
understood or any other query?
Sir, yes, I understood.
This
Thank
was
you,
the
sir.
question.
Yes, sir.
So that is called as auto square off.
So,
Yeah.
so when they do auto square off, they charge for that.
Yeah, the brokerages will be there now. For intraday, it differs from broking firm to broking firm. Normally for intraday, it will be 5 paise per transaction. 5 paise, okay? And for delivery basis, it will be 50 paise, 45 paise, depends on the broking firm. For example, some broking firm will say per transaction, they take 20 rupee. That means you purchase 100 shares of Infosys, you purchase 1000 shares of Infosys, you pay me 20 rupee per transaction. Or some brokers say you pay me 0.5, that is 5 paise per transaction. Apart from that, there are no other charges.
Yes, sir.
Okay, but the tax part is separate. Don't forget the tax part. So like
Yes.
securities transaction tax will be there, and the GST part is there. So that is, I'm just speaking about the brokerage, what you need to pay the broker. So what
Yes,
you
sir.
I'll give one more example now. Okay, please be cautious, students. I understood your query. I'll give you one more example. Now I'll take the script called as Titan. Please see carefully now what I'll do. So what is this exchange? This exchange is NSE. You can see here left NSE. Okay, in NSE, I am seeing Titan. The script name is Titan. So can anyone tell me what is the current market price of Titan? It is reflecting on my screen here.
101,000.
1177.75.
75. That is 1177.75. Correct. So
Yes.
so what I'll do now, I will inform the broker. See, at the current market price, purchase 100 shares for me. So what I told, at the current market price, purchase 100 shares for me. Now, in order to purchase 100 shares, how much amount should be there in my demat account? 1,17,775. Correct?
Yes.
1,17,775 should be there in my demat account. Then, by 3 p.m., what I'll do, that much amount will be there in my demat account. The broker will be purchasing on my behalf.
Yes, sir.
To continue my position for the next few days. That means the demat account. So what I'll say, convert my position from intraday to delivery, because already the amount is there in my demat account, so it will be converted. Now suppose the broker will tell me, sir, that much amount is not there, you have to give to me immediately, or you have to credit to your demat account, then only I can continue my position for the next day, or continue your position, the delivery for the next day. Then you say, no, I don't have that amount. If you want, you can square off. See, understand my words. If you want, you can square off. Or if you want, you please sell that. So even though if you are in loss, you have to exit from your loss. Even though you're in profit, you have to exit from your profit. That is called as intraday.
Yes, sir.
Clear, all of you?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, good. At least the basics, if you understand, no? So then I can take you to the next level. So these are some of the basics. So when the company price will increase, see today morning itself, if you can see here, opening was 1,156. And
Yes.
now it is gone up by 22 rupee 50 paise. That means only 100 shares if you had purchased, only 100 shares in the morning. 100 multiplied by 22, that is 2,200 rupees a net profit, man. I mean, 9:30 you have taken your position, 10:30 you are gaining 2,200 rupee, and you can come out of the market. This is called intraday profit. Then I ask, hello, what is your intraday profit? I say 2,200 is my intraday profit. Right? So this is what is intraday as well as delivery buying and delivery selling. Clear, all of you?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Done.
Excuse me,
So
sir.
all of you, अभी भी doubt है क्या? कौन है?
Sir, a
What is
small
it?
doubt, sir.
Who is this?
Sir, when we purchase sir, IPO shares, sir, they've been bulk quantity, no, sir? So, like for 100 shares minimum, so, sir, we can purchase any bulk amount.
It is not any bulk amount. During IPO, you are asking, right?
Yes, sir. So, there is a limit, sir, like 100, like minimum shares we can purchase 100. So, there's like a bulk quantity. Sir, we can buy any number of bulk, like 10 bulks or anything like.
Yeah. You can provide. You can say, for example, Happiest Minds IPO came. Vinith,
Yes, sir.
Happiest Minds IPO came, right? For all of you, I'm explaining. IPO date was what? September 7th to September 9th. Okay, and the face value of the share was 2 rupee per equity share, and the IPO price was 165 to 166 per equity share. So you can purchase any quantity, no problem. So the price band the company will be fixing, that is 165 to 166. Then Happiest Minds Technologies, even they had raised 316 crore from anchor investors ahead of the IPO. And if you have read the news, the IPO of Happiest Mind Technologies, which was drawn strong response from investors, was 77.51 times subscribed as of 4 p.m. Yesterday. And the IPO opened on Monday this week and will close yesterday. Happiest Minds Technologies, that 316 crore collected. So you can purchase, nothing to worry. But there will be a condition. Yeah, please remember this. The minimum lot size is 90. See here, Vinith. For Happiest, that's an example I'm giving you. All the companies will be having the minimum shares you need to purchase will be 90, which means investors have to apply for a minimum of 90 shares and in multiples thereafter. That is 91, 92, 93, or you can say, when I say multiples, 90, 180, 270. Right? It depends on the company which is coming up with an IPO. I'm just taking an example of Happiest Minds, the IPO which closed this week. Clear, Vinith?
Sir, I have a doubt.
You can invest any amount. There is no limitation on that, any amount. But you have to invest minimum whatever the company has specified. Minimum you should purchase 90 shares, or it depends on the company IPO, whichever company is planning for an IPO. Clear? Yeah. You anyone? Yes, please, ma'am. Ask.
Sir, it's Satyaja.
Yes, please ask.
Sir, how will come to know how many shares are there in the purchase?
You have to raise your volume. It's not audible for me.
Sir, is it audible?
Yeah, now it's audible.
Sir, how will come to know that this much shares are there for purchase?
Can you put in the chat box your question? It was not clear for me. Padmaja, right? Please put in the chat
Yes,
box.
sir. Okay, sir.
So as of now, 51 students are there. Okay. Vishal, mute your audio. I request all of you to mute your audio. How will come to know that how many shares are there? In my Demat account, you're asking?
No, sir, in company. The company which is going to sell the shares.
So they have to transparently inform all the shareholders, right? I'm coming up with an IPO process. These are the number of shares which I'm releasing to the public. So they transparently they have to inform SEBI, they have to inform all the exchanges, they have to inform investors. So there is something called as prospectus, which will be coming along with an IPO. So before applying for an IPO as an investor, you have all the rights to ask the company into which business the company is into, from how many years the company is into the same business, how much money they want to raise, what is the minimum capital required by an investor for me to invest, how much shares I can get it from the company. And one more thing, students, what Padmaja asked very nicely, if I apply for an IPO, it is left to the company whether to allot the shares to me or no. If the shares are not allotted, the amount will be refunded to me. See, sometimes the company shares will be oversubscribed. Sometimes the company shares will be undersubscribed during the IPO process. Please understand this. So what they'll do, if you apply for say 180 shares, they can give you only 90 shares. Remaining 90 shares ka jo bhi amount hai, they'll credit to your account. So you are not allotted. See, I'm using the word allotment. So I'll be asking Padmaja, Happiest Minds shares have been allotted to you or no? Then she will say, yeah, I had applied for 180 shares. Only 90 shares have been allotted by the company. Remaining 90, the amount will be credited to my bank account. Why? Because it is oversubscribed. Many people are applying for that IPO. Right? So companies, register and transfer agents, what they'll decide? So we will give 90 shares to all the people who have applied for during an IPO process. Clear? That was your query? That was your query, Padmaja?
It's clear now.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Now, how are indices formed? This is very important to understand. Now, basically, an index consists of similar stocks. This could be on the basis of industry, company size, market capitalization, or other parameters. Okay. Once the stocks are selected, the index value is calculated. This could be a simple average of the prices of the components. In India, the free float market capitalization is commonly used instead of prices to calculate the value of an index. Now, what is this index? So basically, when I speak about index, before that we will understand BSE. That is Bombay Stock Exchange. This was the first stock exchange that was set up in the Asia. That too in the year 1875. It was basically formed as the Native Share and Stock Brokers Association. So presently, if you consider more than 6,000 companies are listed at BSE, please understand more than 6,000 companies' shares are listed at BSE, and that makes it the biggest stock exchange when considering the size of the exchange. While talking about the volume of the transaction, it is the 5th largest in the world. And in terms of listed companies, market capitalization, it falls almost in the top 10 list globally. And some of the important features of our exchange, that is BSE. BSE is one of the oldest exchange in India. BSE is the 5th largest stock exchange globally. More than 6,000 companies are listed at BSE. In India, BSE was the first stock exchange to introduce the concept of equity derivatives. BSE was the first one to launch internet trading. And the concept of financial training was first adopted by BSE. And the system of BOLT, B-O-L-T, students, BSE online trading system was adopted by BSE, and it was one of the limited stock exchanges to use the system. Then I'll discuss about the one more popular exchange in India that is called as NSE, that is National Stock Exchange. In terms of the trading members, NSE is the largest stock exchange in India. The traders and investors are provided with the service of trading in multiple securities, which includes the debt and equity that is issued by the central or the state government. So apart from this, trading can also be done in commercial papers, commercial bills, certificate of deposits, Around 1,000 members are listed at the NSE, and the exchange is owned and managed by more than 20 financial and insurance institutions. So some of the important features of NSE are like NSE accounts for nearly 66% of the total turnover in India and has the largest network of terminals in the country, which is followed by Bombay Stock Exchange at 33.4%. NSE stands as the second largest exchange globally in terms of market capitalization. Then the concept of screen-based trading, that is online trading, was first adopted by National Stock Exchange. So when it started the functions on November 3rd, 1994, it started the operations in the capital market segment. So NSE has an equity capital of more than 25 crores. And then NSE holds an amount of 300 crores in settlement guarantee fund to ensure the settlements are made in a smooth and uninterrupted manner and the default are taken off. Then types of stock market index, like just now what we studied, on what basis or we'll be calculating that. So based on price weighted index, then equal weighted index and value weighted index. So what is this price weighted index? An index reflecting the sum of the prices of the sample shares in a certain year with reference to a base year. Then equal weighted index, an index reflecting the simple arithmetic average of the price relatives of the sample shares in a certain year with reference to a base year. Then all of you know already market capitalization. It is number of shares present in the secondary market multiplied by the current market price. So indices of Indian stock exchanges, as I mentioned to you, indices, we have BSE Sensex and NSE Nifty. So BSE Sensex, the BSE Sensex is the stock index which is managed by Bombay Stock Exchange. The headquartered in Mumbai. The BSE Sensex is also known as BSE 30, that is broadly used in Asia and is the important stock index in India. BSE consists of how many stocks? 30. Whereas NSE, that is Nifty, which is used for measuring the fund portfolios, index-based derivatives, and index funds. It has 50 stock indexes accounting for 21 sectors of the economy. So the major companies of NSE are indicated by Nifty. Nifty shows the performance of top stocks of the NSE. The index is made by India Index Services Product Limited, IASL, and Credit Rating Information Services of India, that is CRISIL. So this is how your index is formed. So till here everyone has understood?
Yes, sir.
So we will do a quick revision of the concepts what we discussed. Let me ask some questions to the students. Okay. So good morning to all once again. We'll have a small interactive session so that I want to know how much you people have understood. Yeah. Apsana is present. Apsana? Apsana, good morning. Is it audible? Apsana, I'm not listening to you. Okay, Ashwini, good morning.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Fantastic. Okay. So just now we discussed in India we have two popular exchanges. Can you speak something about those two exchanges in detail?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Two stock exchanges in India are BSE and NSE, which is Bombay Stock Exchange and National Stock Exchange. In Bombay Stock Exchange, there are top 30 companies, listed companies, and in National Stock Exchange, there are top 50 listed companies.
Okay. Thank you so much. Very good. Then we have Kedar Sawant. Kedar, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Can you speak something about SEBI, what we discussed today?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please tell.
SEBI is the regulatory body of the stock exchanges, which
Very good.
controls the malpractices of the exchange,
Okay.
and it protects the interest of investors.
Very good. Okay, that much is enough. That means you have understood a bit. Okay, next we will go to, thank you so much, Rahul D. Rahul?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So in the cash market operation,
Yes.
so what do you understand by intraday and what do you understand by delivery?
In intraday, sir, we buy shares and sell it today only.
Very good.
And in delivery, we buy today and sell it anytime, after 1 year or anytime. And
Okay.
intraday,
Tell me.
in intraday, if we didn't sell it, if we didn't sell it, the broker will square up the shares at 315. And
Very good.
and that's it, sir. Also, brokers also give some margins for intraday also, sir.
What do you call that? Exposure.
Exposure margin, sir.
Very good. Okay. So you are presently doing some trading
Yes, sir.
with where?
Yes, sir. Yesterday I also applied for the Happiest Minds IPO, sir. In
Okay.
9th.
Okay.
So, but the subscriptions are so high, na. 150 times, na. The
Okay.
probability are so low, sir, getting allotment.
Yes. Okay. So see, students, this is the advantage of opening one demat account. Okay. See, when you start if you want to know more about this particular subject, you have to know about the markets, right? See, Rahul, he's already applied for an IPO.
Yes, sir.
That's great, actually. Okay. Shreyans Ramananavar. Rahul, thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Sir, thank you.
Shreyans, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, Shreyans, can you tell me something
morning, sir.
about primary market and secondary market, Shreyans?
So primary market is a market where the company wants to raise the fund for the first time,
Very good.
and it is known as a IPO, initial public offering process.
Fantastic.
And secondary market is the market where the shares are sold for the first time in the primary market. They are listed into secondary market, where the transactions will be day-to-day taken places after the initial public offering, sir.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Shreyans. Good. Now let me ask Stephen. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah. Can you tell me something about the modes of rising funds? There are various modes of rising funds, right? So what you understood by modes of rising funds? So can you please brief on some of the methods which are there?
So funds can be raised by most of the investors, sir. And it depends upon the margin. Like
No. I'm asking you the various methods of raising funds. Yesterday we have discussed, right?
So yesterday I was absent, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
So may I answer?
Sir, shall I?
Who is this? Padmaja.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Since you are volunteered, I want you to explain perfectly. Stephen, you should not miss any class. Otherwise, next class you will be blank. Okay.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay, Padmaja.
So there right issue, private placement, venture capital, and bonds and deposits.
Okay. Can you
Term
just
loans,
explain
deposits,
me
they are
rights issue? No.
No,
Okay.
sir.
Okay. No problem. At least you told. Vinit was. Good morning. Thank you, Padmaja. Vinit.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Can you explain me rights issue, Vinit? What happens in rights issue? Or why do companies go for rights issue? Vinit? Again, he muted.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please tell. See, whatever you have understood, you tell. It is not examination. So I want to basically understand how much you have understood. That's all. Yeah, Vinit.
So it's the addition of shares in the market. By buying shareholders can buy additional shares in the market.
No. I had mentioned one specific word for rights issue. It is for whom?
So the existing shareholders.
Very good. Someone told.
It's existing shareholders.
Very good. So it is offered to the existing shareholders, right? See here, rights issue, where the issue of equity shares of a body corporate is made to the existing shareholders as a preemptive right. Under this method, additional securities are offered for subscription to the existing shareholders. Clear, Vinit?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So any other queries related to this topics? Any topic what we have discussed so far, please ask me. Or if you don't have any query, we'll wind up the class. But all of you are noting down some points, right? Making the notes of this. Because if you're strong with the theoretical concepts, from unit 2, I'll be going for the problems related to risk and returns. So you should be strong with the theoretical concept, students, especially the concepts what we discussed related to investments, wherein we discussed about investment and speculation. So the difference between investment, let me go through I'll be doing a quick revision, wait, so that those who are here for the first day, okay. See, basically this question paper pattern of this particular subject, 60% theory and 40% problems. But normally speaking, we will solve more and more problems, so that even though if the proportion is more, even though if there are 70% problems, you should be in a position to answer any problem. It's very easy, but filled with a lot of common sense. So we discussed about investment. We came to know about investment. Then we understood the meaning of investment and speculation. Then we understood about investment and gambling. Then the difference between investor and speculator. Please, I'll explain you once again. Investor is for long term. He plans for long term horizon, whereas speculator is for short term. Investor is buy today and sell after 1 year. That means for long term horizon. Whereas speculator is intraday, a guy who does intraday and books his profit in a day. See, risk and return also differs when it comes to investor and speculator. Then we have studied investment process, wherein we have to know all these parameters like investable fund, objectives and knowledge. Then before investing in any market, we have to study the MIC or EIC framework, that is economy, industry and company framework. First, we have to know how is the economy of a country doing. Then we want to study a particular industry. Then after that, we want to study and do the analysis of a particular company where we want to invest our money. Then valuation. Valuation, we should be knowing the intrinsic value, also called as the true value or the face value. Then future value. That means today, if I invest in a particular company, next 2 years or next 5 years or next 10 years, what could be the estimated returns I'll be getting. Then after, based on all this, we are constructing a portfolio. So here, diversification, selection and allocation plays a very important role. Then is portfolio evaluation. I construct a portfolio. Then after that, I leave my portfolio for the next 5 years without seeing that. So what happens? I might incur losses, right? So periodically, I should review my portfolio. If some stocks are doing good, I need to increase those particular shares in my portfolio. If some shares are not doing well or some companies are not performing good, we have to remove that and put the companies which are performing good. So we have studied about security or marketable financial assets. Then we discussed about the security forms of investment in detail, wherein we studied the different types of equity shares, different types of preference shares, different types of debentures. Then we discussed about Indra Vikas Patras, Kisan Vikas Patras. government securities, and money market instruments. Then non-security form of investment also deposits, public provident funds, national saving certificates, national saving schemes, life insurance, mutual funds, real estate, arts, etc. Then we studied about the financial markets. Financial markets, sometimes they are called as the backbone of the economy. That means if financial markets are doing good, that means the economy is doing good. And it's a vice versa. Then capital market, we have studied about the primary market and secondary market. So we even discussed about different modes of raising funds from the public. And from today, we even discussed about SEBI, the major functions, duties, responsibilities of Securities and Exchange Board of India. Then we landed up with understanding the indices of Indian stock exchanges. So till here, everyone is clear? Any doubts?